I have to say, I don't remember us going out together as a family, laughing and making me feel that we were happy and joyful together. I don't remember my parents discussing anything other than domestic issues in each other's presence, which was great because it meant that everyone was included. They communicated very discreetly. No one raised his voice at anyone in our house, which was wonderful, although sometimes it seemed to me that it would be better to have a loud but honest scandal, which would make painful things obvious. But no, we were that very intelligent family, which would never stoop to shouting and clarification of relations. Instead, my parents just lived each their own lives. Mum had affairs. I started to realize this by my senior years of high school. Those were the times when she was in great spirits, cheerful and very attentive to me. However, when the relationship on the side ended, she lived again as if by inertia. Nevertheless, it was with my mum that I could have a heart-to-heart talk. Searching for paternal approval. It was very different with my father. He simply never noticed either my successes or, in the end, myself. Yet it was from my father that I wanted to hear words of encouragement and recognition. As a child, on walks, I tried to take his hand and show everyone that he was my dad. He almost always released his hand with the words, "I'm so uncomfortable, go on your own." I was determined to get him to like me. One time, I arranged a fashion show, where I prepared my favorite outfits and borrowed my mother's makeup. He was horrified by what he saw and told my mum to wash me immediately. I roared with resentment. Mum said, "When Dad's away, we'll do the show for ourselves. When Daddy's gone." I was desperate for him to be in my life. I did well at school, almost straight A's. My dad took it for granted because of the school curriculum is for morons. "I think better of you." An epiphany. At a transitional age, I started to get a little chubby, so I decided to try out a little food restriction. My mother noticed and was a little worried, but my father didn't drink, so he didn't care. Then one evening, he came home drunk. He came over, smiled and patted me on the cheek. "You're our little hippo." Even in this semblance of tenderness, he managed to prick me in a manly way. When my mother complained to my father that I wasn't eating well, he laughed and said, "Our daughter cannot eat for a month. It is only good for her." I went to my room, undressed, and looked at my body in the mirror for a long time. That night, I admitted to myself that I was an ugly, fat daughter of my father, who compensates for it at least by not upsetting him in his studies. I cried all night, but I felt free. But after that incident, I stopped expecting anything from my dad. I looked at him with different eyes, and he no longer seemed to me a hero, handsome and courageous. Realization. I saw that he wasn't always as smart and flawless as I thought he was. I began to notice that his comments about what was going on were often ridiculous. He was out of touch with life. I realized why Mum was cheating on him. I didn't understand why she put up with a man who didn't appreciate the woman in her. I found freedom from my father. His indifference and coldness became for me that very point of no return, which helped me to find support in myself. I stopped seeking not only his approval, but also the praise of others. I realized that I wouldn't go into the exact sciences like he wanted me to. My profession now is landscape designer. I was going backwards. I felt like I had nothing to offer my father, and I was eager to explore new possibilities in life. I wanted a man who would openly express his love and be willing to share his feelings. And I found exactly that in my current partner. I'm so grateful to my father for helping me find this new path.